Leef with the Legends podcast highlights people doing exceptional work in the areas of sports, entertainment, business, and entrepreneurship. Make sure to like this video, leave comments down below, and subscribe to the channel. As always, be legendary or be lost. Yo, we are back. Another episode of Leef with the Legends podcast. Man, this one is special, really special. I got someone who was very influential, in my life. Met him at the age of 13, now 37, so you guys can do the math. I got my high school coach, I got basketball royalty, Wisconsin legend, Rufus King legend, Dominican legend. Got Coach Jim Gosz. Thanks for joining the podcast, Coach.
Appreciate you having me, Khalif. This ought to be fun.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to it. But just to kind of level set, I'm gonna just read just some of your resume. So you're one of 8 coaches in Wisconsin history to reach 600 wins. You're the most winningest coach in Milwaukee City Conference history. You got 4 state championships. You hold these up. 2 of them right here. 13 state tournament appearances. And after 31 years as a head basketball coach, you've accumulated a record of 606 wins and 145 losses. Man, Coach, that's legendary right there. That's legendary. So I know the Gosz family name. So like, with your dad being as legendary as well, was coaching, like, was that always in the cards for you?
I always liked the games, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball. And I grew up in a coaching family. My dad started off at Prairie du Chien Campion High School, and he used to run one of the biggest basketball camps in the Midwest. And I was always around coaches, always around that type of culture. And I went to lacrosse for Phi Ed and got out of there and, started at Shoals Middle School. But when I was in college, my sophomore year, one of the coaches, Rollo Taylor, said, "Hey, would you be interested in coaching college?" And I said, well, sure. So I ended up my junior and senior year of my college career, not career, but college years, I coached at Viterbo College. And I was pretty much given, I wasn't the head coach, but I was pretty much running it. And then I graduated, started off at university school as the freshman football coach assistant, and fell into MPS and went over to Shoals Middle School and got a team together and ended up winning the middle school championship. Beat Otto McDuffie and Jamie Harrell's team. So that's how I got my start here in Milwaukee.
Got you. And we got to shout out those guys. Otto's actually getting inducted to the Rufus King Athletic Hall of Fame this year. And then obviously Jamie, Jamie had a huge, role in your first year as as head coach. So let's dive into that 91 season, right? So how did that even come about? Like you getting the job at King?
It kind of fell in by accident, and the previous coach stepped down, and they gave it to me, and I was 25 at the time, and it's credit those guys. It was a stacked team. They were all sophomores, and very Brian Curry and Eric and Otto and Mac and Kiwan and Damian, and just an unbelievable group. That's when the city conference, top to bottom, was unbelievable. And even when you were playing Cleef, it was still really good. But kind of fell into my lap, and I ran with it. I didn't screw it up, and I won't say it wasn't easy, but it got done. And 31 years later, here I am.
Here we are. So, Coach, you did something that was legendary, though. Like, you did something that was very special. You won a state championship your very first season as a head basketball coach. Like, kind of, well, like, what were some of the challenges that you faced, and like just kind of walk us through that season?
Man, I didn't know what the hell was going on. It's all a blur to me. And I think we were in the state championship game 4 out of my first 5 years, won it twice, and came up second twice. But tell you, Cleve, you were reading off all those numbers, and I can tell you pretty much every loss we had, and the ones that burn you the most are the state tournament when you get up there and you're that close and you get beat, and you go through about at least a 4-week depression, like a family member died or something, and those are the tough ones. But when you're young and dumb, think about when you were 25 years old, 26. Like, whoa! And credit the players who played for me. They were all on board, and we had a lot of talent, and got it done. Just now that you look back at it, wow! That's had I not done that first 4 or 5 years, I doubt if I'd have been at King, they'd have ran me out of there. You got to win at King.
Gotta win. Gotta win.
It's a pretty big, prestigious, proud school, so you can't screw around too quick. And guys like just unbelievable kids who came under my reign.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And one of those, 145 losses, like you said, that stung as a 25, 26-year-old, I was a part of, because when you gave me my first high school coaching, opportunity to be a varsity assistant back in 2011. And
That's right.
That's when we made it upstate and we lost in the championship game to Germantown.
Oh, geez.
Yep,
Killing
yep,
me
yep.
now.
So when you say, stung and like that hurt behind it, and as competitors, you've instilled so much, so many, values and, discipline, hard work, structure, punctuality, like all of these things. And it's like being in a coaching world with you and seeing that like I wanted to experience that state championship win with you, as obviously twice as a player, but then I think as a coach, that would have just been even that much more special. But yeah, it's definitely stung. And like still to this day, when I talk about it, it still doesn't I don't think it'll ever sit well with me. But
No, everyone from Germantown brings it up, even people from Tosa East, and it just ruins your day when you bring up.
yeah, for
Hopefully
sure.
I'm over it by now. Remember, no one's feeling sorry for any of us.
That's very true. Yeah, that's something that you that you used to share with us too. All right. So coach, so you win it at 91. And like you said, at King, very prestigious. You got to get the win. So you won it in 91, then you won a state title in 95, and then we went back to back 2003, 2004. So what would you say was like made those teams unique in order to bring that gold ball back to King?
I think let's just talk the state championship teams, the
Yep,
teams
yep,
that got rings,
yep.
and you can attest to this. And I think those players at the time were all buddies. They all sat at the same lunch table, hung out, went bowling together, and did all things. They all hung together as a group. 5, 6, 7. There were no individuals or single ships, as I call them, out there. Everyone respected everyone on the team.
Yep.
And the big thing is, I don't know if it's a cliche, know your roles. Everyone knew their role. And I remember you, Khalif. You could have probably started for anyone, but you had Goody and Dixon and
Jahi.
Jahi.
Yep.
And not to make light of it, you were a small young man at the time, and
extremely small.
I saw you in college, and I'm like, wow, where was this? Even your brother, I'm like, wow. So you had a late growth, but even you could have bitched and moaned and went, but you knew your role. And I look at those teams. You look at BT and you look at Tehran. They all knew their role, and that's what I think is. We knew Dupree was the man.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we knew Jermel, his job was the garbage, and gutter was just a pound. And you know, but yeah, everyone knew their role, and it made life a lot easier. There was no drama on any of those teams.
For sure, for sure. And as kind of, I guess I could say it, as kind of quirky as like he was, I think we got to mention kind of Peter Frito, and you know
Oh,
the and what he brought to our team. You know, I think he came in like 01 or 02,
right.
and you know, just with the, like you said, we were already close because it was basically 5 or 6 guys from Swish and then 5 or 6 guys from the Rebels. So we kind of, you know, we already had our core, but just the ability to like manage personalities, and you know, for us to be able to like bond and communicate effectively and just get the ultimate like best out of us. I think he definitely played a huge role, you know, in our two back to backs.
He did the stuff that I couldn't do, the psychological part. And
Yep.
you know as well as I do, Cleve, those teams, we were a match away from blowing up.
Oh, for sure. For
We
sure.
held it together, and we raised the ball, but that thing could have blew up on us any time.
Yep.
And to credit everyone that did it. And Frito, yeah, absolutely. Peter Frito, shout out to him, without doubt.
Yep. Yep. So coach, kind of describe your coaching style and what, how you made it like to become like that Rufus King identity.
You know, don't make any excuses. That was number one, and play hard. You do those two things, I think it all comes together. And the running, and I think if people ever listen to this podcast, we always had a drill where we'd have to do 17 in a minute.
Oh,
Then we'd have to do 9 and 30.
9:30. Yep.
And we did it, didn't we, Khalif?
Absolutely.
Now the
Everybody.
team,
Everybody.
every Mike Gutter to
Yep.
Jermel and we did it. And if we didn't do it, we did it. And now you do that with teams, man, there's no way that mentally they can do it. And I saw that at the end of my career. These kids, just ain't got it. And
Yep.
when a guy like Mike Gutter is getting it done, something's. And Mike Gutter, I've seen him recently. Boy, is he a fantastic young man, great person, as he always does. But Mike went through some issues too.
Absolutely.
So, but
Absolutely.
yeah, just the hard work, and no one made any excuses. You remember, Khalif, Rufus King, the last bell for your class rang at 2:45.
Oh, we
Right?
had to be dressed. Yeah, what you put,
You
8
weren't
minutes on the.
on. If you weren't
Yep.
at practice at 3 o'clock on the floor, it was on. I
Hold
mean,
on. You said no, hold on. No, we ain't had that much time, coach.
was it?
we,
Yeah,
we ain't had that much time. I remember hustling from Mr. Durgee's class on the 3rd floor all the way down to the 1st floor to my locker and then over to the gym. I think as soon as the bell rang, you put 10
yeah,
minutes on the
we
clock.
might have. Yeah, we might
Yep.
have been. Remember what we practiced in just a
The
box too.
box. Yep.
There's
Yep.
nothing. We never got a full court.
Yep.
Girls were on the other side, but to get back at your question, just demand that you play hard.
Yep.
I wasn't a offensive genius. I really wasn't a defensive genius. And to make light of it, without Al Jackson, you and I aren't even
Oh
talking
man,
here.
he's definitely coming. He's on my list of questions. We
All right, yeah, I'll leave you
definitely got
go on there. But
yeah,
I just got
definitely.
you guys to play hard and keep your mouth shut too.
Yep.
But once that practice was over, everything was cool. I need
Absolutely.
to say, between the practices we had were amazingly tough. I'm thinking I'm coming home today, like what I was gonna say, and reflecting on just how hard you guys played. I mean, there was people still in the whole state just talk how hard, the Rufus King teams played, I think till the end,
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, no, and I think that was something that like when I did, when I was, able to play at the next level, like I was prepared. I was prepared physically, I was prepared like mentally. Like a lot of the drills we already done, and then obviously like the conditioning, like I was there because like you said, the 17s in a minute, uh the 9 and 30s, I don't know if you remember this. The conditioning drill that you had us do like on the first day of practice, like before we even touched the basketball, we had to run a mile. Then when we came back inside, we did
Right.
stairs. Remember we did the stairs from the
Yes,
first
yeah,
level to the third level, then
right.
across the school back down. So like those types of things, like I'm like, and I just remember, I always remember you saying like, when you think you're tired, there's another level you can get to. Like you may be physically tired, but you're not mentally tired. So those types of like just that hard work, that grit, that toughness, like it transfers off the court too. You know what I mean? Like just the structure, like if I'm running late, it doesn't sit well with me because like literally like in the back of my mind, that clock that little clock that used to be sitting on the floor
Right.
it's ticking. It's ticking. I know I have to be somewhere to perform a job or a task at a certain time. And like it's just one of those things that just always stuck with me. I think that's probably the most like valuable kind of value that I've gained, from you is just that attention to detail. That's number one. And then the just the time management.
Yeah. How about if someone was late to practice, we let them sit down and we would, if you were late to practice, we had you sit out, watch the rest of the team just suffer. I mean, just
It, and you know who was suspect number one all the time?
Dupree.
No,
No.
Drew Jackson.
Oh yeah, Drew. Yeah, that's right.
Drew
He always
Drew
had
Jackson.
some. He knew about computers before they even were. Yeah, you're
For
right.
sure. For sure. Yep.
You
No,
just didn't come late. Yeah, it was
it's those types of things that like I don't think you can do that in today's game.
no, no, you
Like,
can't.
yeah, because like it's just the psychological I won't say warfare, but the psychological kind of gymnastics that were being played. Like I remember, yeah, Drew, come have matter of fact, you can have my stool. Sit right here, Drew. Sit right here. And we like, man, and like we feel some type of way because he not running, and then he feels some type of way because he not like it's just, but it's one of those things that you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? So
Yeah,
if one doesn't make it, we all don't make it.
you can't get away with that stuff now
No,
in this day and age. And
no,
we could share stories, Cleve, and people wouldn't believe us. I mean, and
that's
they're
true.
all true. They would not believe.
Very true. Very true. So I know you kind of alluded to it, but like over the span of your 31 years, like how have you had to tweak your coaching style?
I saw it my last couple of years at King, and I'll give you an example. None of those kids touched the lines, 17 in a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, nine, none of them wanted to do that. Uh, Obviously, with technology, cell phones, all someone had to do was hit their record on a cell phone in a halftime talk, and I was gone. Monday, my locker would have been cleared out. And some of the halftime, I mean, there's fists and blows. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and
Broken
nothing
broken clipboards, all that.
boards, grab a kid to make a point, and so it's done, slap them. But no, you can't get away. That you just were in the business.
Yep.
You can't do any of that. And the fact is, hey, what do you think Salim El-Amin's going to do if I you think he had my back?
Absolutely.
Goodness, get all these. The parents were fantastic too. And yeah, you can't get away with. I think that's one of the reasons I'm out of this. You can't coach hard anymore. It's a whole different mentality. And I stayed with it as long as I could, but got out alive.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. So I want to talk a little bit more about, I mean, kind of selfishly about the 2003 and the 2004 championships. So in 2003, we after we won the state title, we were ranked 17th in the nation, in the USA Today. And then in 2004, after we won it, we were ranked 22nd in the nation, USA Today. So like, what were what are some? I'm curious to know, like, what are some of your memorable moments? Like, it could be either on and off the court, from those seasons.
Well, obviously the state championship game your junior year when we beat Brian Butch.
Yep.
And we almost sent Gutter packing the championship game. And we got into a
Yep.
argument at the shoot around, and
Yep.
we sent him back to the hotel, and he didn't know he was playing till we got on the bus. And that was all planned. He was so ticked off. But without Mike Gutter on that one, we don't beat Brian Butch. And
No.
I'm going back. Jahi was unbelievable. I don't think Jahi missed a shot in March. And he didn't say a word. He was just a silent, unbelievable. Yep. And you have Willingham and Jermel, but that was a solid team. Great kids. Again, what I went back to, those are all best friends.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Together. And we won it, and we came back the next year, and we were loaded again. We had all the pieces. You waited your time. You got in. Now we had you guys, but we went on the circuit too. We played in Myrtle Beach. Remember Kyle Lowry?
Yep.
You were one shot away from beating him. You won the 3-point contest at the beach ball.
Yep.
I remember the championship game, and you weren't supposed to announce it till after the player of the year. Dupree never got player of the year.
Yep.
That year, the kid from
Madison Memorial.
I forget his name.
Nelson.
And I went up to Dupree and said, "You didn't get player of the year." And Dupree doesn't really show too much. He just kind of looked at me, and he had that, And we beat them with
Wes Matthews.
And he had a broken thumb. And I saw him in the layup line. He couldn't catch the ball. So that was an unbelievable, and did we go undefeated?
My junior year, we did. My junior year, that was when we went 26-0. Senior year, we went 23-3. We lost 2 games in South Carolina, and then we lost to Vincent.
We did, okay, yeah. And came back, and we beat Madison Memorial, the championship.
Yep. Senior year, yep.
But you remember that team we beat in New York?
Niagara Falls.
That might have been the best game ever a Rufus team played on us. We just came out and blasted them. We had some big games, and that got us ready.
And we played my senior year. We played St. Vincent St. Mary, so that was the year after LeBron had left.
That's my bragging point. We beat LeBron. We were the team that
we snapped the streak.
Yeah, that's right. We went down there and played them on their own at what was that?
Akron.
Akron, that's right. We took a bus.
We
went on the traveling circuit.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, and when I was talking about like some of the values that I still take, like the attention to detail, and and I'm sure you remember this, but I don't know if it was our senior year, but I know for our junior year for sure, you had a full out itinerary. Like you printed them out and you handed them each to every player, every coach, everybody who was on the team. And it had literally to the time, like what we were gonna do, who was gonna bring the trophy back, like where we were going to eat, like everything. It was, and I'm like, is Coach Gosz like some kind of prophet or something? Because it was mind blowing, like how to the point everything was.
And you can credit Frito to that too. Frito had a plan, and I do remember that. I think you were in charge of the gold ball, bringing it to who brought.
Maybe that was senior year. Junior year, I remember it was Willingham.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I remember we lost the state championship game. We had the silver ball, and when the bus got back to King, we left the damn ball right on the bus, right on.
We don't do the silver, huh?
Hey, the bus company had to bring it back. We still didn't want to accept it. I think it was your senior year or the junior. I think it's your senior year. We got back to the hotel. Me and the coaches took a cab downtown with the gold ball, and
it still got the dent in it.
That thing was all chipped and banged up. We got in. put it this way, thank God their social media wasn't around then.
Yeah. I was privy to that story once I was on the coaching staff. So like, yeah.
You can't make that up, man. It's true.
But no, the boss, the gold boss still has a dent. Yeah, that was junior. That was 2003. Yeah, 2003.
Yeah.
So before we go any further, and I know we talked about him a little bit earlier, but we have to, just like I want to give, I'm giving you your flowers. We have to give Coach Al Jackson his flowers. And I'll let you kind of just run with it. Like, I know what he means to me, and during my 4 years at King, what he meant to me. But just like as an assistant coach, as a friend, as a confidant, like just talk about the greatness of Coach Jackson.
Man, don't think I know I couldn't have done it without him. He was the disciplinarian in the program. All I had to really worry about was, the X and O's and getting you guys, but I always say we weren't running a Boy Scout troop at King. We had some issues with a lot, but Coach Jackson handled all that. You went and saw him. You'd rather see me before, saw him, but he covered my back. I can't even tell you how many times, just little things where I would just try to overlook and brush. And he said, no, we're going to, and those paid dividends later on. If Khalif's going to get away with coming in late, or Robert Dix, everything was consistent, and that's on him. As on Coach Jackson, he was consistent with everyone, whether you're the first man or the 12th man on the team. And if you have problems, and we found out, everything, biggest King is, we knew what was going on, outside the court, but he was the backbone of the program. My name was on the top line, but he was the backbone. A lot wouldn't have been able to accomplish any of this without him. He just stubborn, old school. He played at Lincoln. A lot of our Lincoln in philosophy, we have the same philosophy as Lincoln did, and I think that was all through Coach Jackson. And to this day, he's one of my best friends. We talk a couple times a week. Saw him Saturday. I was out with them, and God, did we have fun? Me and I had a lot of fun. But yeah, without question, I'm glad you brought that up, Khalif, because he, without question, backbone. Plus, I had our great assistants, Bobby Buss and Ivory's and
Miller's,
Victor, you guys, Lucius Washington, Doc Wells, and all my assistants, they were loyal, man. You couldn't ask for anything better. They were loyal. They always covered my back, and just because my name's on the top of the list doesn't mean I should get all the credit. Those guys are fantastic.
Yeah, no, and it's like that cliche, right? Like, attitude reflects leadership, and with what you instilled in everybody, like it just followed, it followed suit. So I know, like when I was an assistant coach under you, like I knew, and I might have had a leg up because I played, for you, but like I knew what you expected, and like you have a standard, and if it's not being met, then you have, a long list of coaches that are going to enforce that. And Coach Jackson was like that main guy. And generally, when it's as an assistant coach, as a player, you're supposed to feel more comfortable going to the assistant coach.
Right.
But you did not want to, depend on what the conversation was, you did not want to have to go see Coach Jackson damn near for anything.
Nothing.
But yeah, no, Coach Jackson, he was great for us, just given the demographic, of King, the makeup of the team, and just who we were, as young men. Like we needed that kind of old school grandfather, guy, and he's been through the ringer, he's been through it, fierce competitor. So Yeah, no, definitely wanted to give Coach Jackson his flowers as well.
Yeah, always in a bad mood, but man, he's probably one of the funniest guys I ever met in my life. And we had without him, we had so much fun.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
coaching, obviously you're winning, so that's fun. But just dealing with my assistants, we had a blast.
No, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
That's what I
Coach
mean.
Coach Jackson and his oranges.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I love it. I love it. All right, so Coach, you've had the honor of coaching like a ton of talent. Like we've named some of the people who have come through, but like you even had some guys make it to the NBA. So like Mike Wilkes, like Jordan Poole, like just to name, those guys. But like how has it been just watching guys that you've coached just succeed and like become businessmen, fathers, husbands, whatever case may be. So like how rewarding is that to see, those former players succeed?
Yeah, and I knew we were going to do this podcast today, and I did go down memory lane, and it's amazing, and I got to see Dupree's kids play last year. They play exactly like him,
Yep.
but junkyard dogs, tough
Yep.
as nails. And I got a call from Coach Sean over at Homestead. He is telling me he has one of my former players' son on the team, Mike Rogers, and how much
Yep.
he likes
Yep.
him. I'm like, man, Mike. Remember Mike Rogers?
Yeah. Yeah. He was a year under me.
Oh, he was the
Yep.
Mike, and I'm stuff like that. And you got all like we were talking earlier, like look at the coaching fraternity we have
Yep.
at King, and who's all coaching out there. Even Emmett's over at
Goldemeyer.
Goldmeyer, and Jimmy Foster, and
Yep.
Terrence McGee, Los Kadima, and I named look at Mike Wilkes. He's with OKC.
OKC.
He was
Yep.
unbelievable. Mike was one of the quietest guys, but he was one of the best. And that team Mike was on, we were 20 something and I'd say 22 and 0. We were playing Toast East, who had Jake Walter, and they're 22 and 0. And we met in the sectional finals.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in charge the whole game, up 12 with 4 minutes, and got beat. And that's with Mike. And Mike went on to be player of the year, and we had Ninkovic. But that was probably, if you get off the question, someone ever asked what was your best team on paper, that was the best team. Now you guys 03, 04, we've had so many good teams.
Mike graduated 96, 97.
Is that when he did? I can't.
Okay, maybe I know he was older than
2 years after Deontay, and
yeah, that was 97. Yeah, because I think Deontay was 95. Because you guys won in 95. Yep. Yeah, no, it's. Go ahead.
I forgot the question you asked, but
oh no, it was just reminiscing, just seeing the success of former players. But I mean, and that's a good segue. So, like you talk about the coaching tree, right? The coaching fraternity, like guys who have played for you, and now they're still coaching. So you got Chris Howe, he's at Marquette right now. You got Jimmy Foster, he's at Bradley. You got Jamison Montgomery, he's at Hawaii Hilo. You got Terrence McGee, he's down at Wabash Valley. And then obviously we said Mike Wilkes, he's front office with the OKC Thunder. And then you got dozens and dozens of high school and AAU coaches. So like it's not by chance that we're still performing and competing on the court, just on the sideline now. But because it's like all of the things that you've instilled in us, we're just transferring it to the next generation, and we're trying to keep that same King philosophy, hard-nosed press. We're gonna run y'all out the gym. If we can win by 20, we trying to win by 30. If we win by 30, we trying to win by 4. Like the domination, like that's something that doesn't go unnoticed. And I think anybody who's played for you and are now coaching, like we know what it is. Like I'm sure T McGee down at Wabash, he's telling them guys, hey, got to pay attention to detail. If I tell you to be at this spot, I mean to be at this spot. So it's just like you've had an immense influence not only on the guys that you've coached, but it's people who I've played against, and they're like, man, man, can you teach me y'all 911? Just want to learn because they know the greatness that you are, as a coach. Can you talk a little bit about like your affiliation with Nike and becoming a Nike global coach?
Yeah, well, let's go back a little bit. We used to be the school used to be sponsored by Guess tennis shoes. I don't know if you were around.
No, I wasn't there for
Converse.
that.
Oh yeah, and those were the nice ones. Converse, Reebok. I had connections with Converse and Reebok, and that's when everyone was trying to get infiltrate into the high school level. But we started off with Adidas after Reebok. We were one of the only few, probably the only school in the state that had a sponsorship, and
Yep.
it was the school didn't have it. It was actually through me for whatever reasons, but I had a lot of connections. I go to the Final Four and with camps, and anyways, we started off with Adidas. That was with Marty and all them.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that
we
was my group.
yeah,
Yep.
was that?
Yep.
So we had Adidas for the most part, and once you guys left, then Nike was always trying to, because they always wanted to keep it in the city. That's where their market was, and they were always trying to get on me and not get with me. But I'm like, no, I'm with Adidas. But then once you guys ran out, and that I went with Tony Dorado. We met at the Final Four, and you sign a 3-year deal with Nike and re-up every year. But the thing is, you got to win.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah,
win,
for
and
sure.
you got to have some players. We had Mitchell Carter. Who else did we have? We had names who did a good job in the summer, and we were playing on the national circuit, and a lot of them tournaments, had some prestige to it, and that's how we got invited to a lot of them. We were in Nike school, but Nike was incredible to be involved with, and I got a chance to coach the global team. That was the year Kyrie was on the other team. I had the Midwest. I had Harrison Barnes, Johnny Selby, or what was his name?
Josh Selby.
Yeah, the kid
Yep.
from Baltimore. And who else? We got beat by Senegal, and we ended up being Serbia and took 3rd place in that. But that was incredible. And Nike got us. We traveled extensively through. Having the Nike umbrella under us.
Yep. No, for sure. So and so you did the Nike global coaching, but then you had another coaching opportunity too. So in 2008, you were fortunate to coach the All-American game, right?
Right. And it was in Milwaukee. That
Yep.
had a lot to do with it. And the people, there's only like 5 or 6 people who select that team, and I knew 3 of them, so I had in on that too.
Got you.
The guy down at the beach ball, John Rhodes, was on the committee, and Morgan Wooden. So they try to keep it localized, and that I think that's why I was selected.
Got you. So, Coach, oh no, go ahead.
You had to have a winning program. I mean,
Yep.
Everyone knew Rufus came through in high school basketball throughout the nation.
Yep.
Everyone,
Yeah, we've always, I think, since we've always played at national. Yeah, represent well.
We represented
Well.
Were you on the team when we almost beat Mater Dei? Was that?
No, I was gone. I think that was 2006 or 7. Maybe.
Yeah, we got beat by them. The one left-handed kid, Taylor, someone hit a 3 from about right in front of the bench, and so yeah, we had a good run.
Oh yeah, for sure. And something that I always remember with you, Coach, was like not only the sayings, but you would put those sayings on a T-shirt.
Right.
And then you would sell the t-shirts. So
Right.
so it was like a a triple, triple threat for me. So one of the t-shirts that I would say two of the t-shirts that I remember specifically, um obviously we had the Rufus King like in a block logo like across the chest. So Rufus King and then basketball underneath. And then on the back it had real like huge font letters. Know your role.
Right.
And then the other one that sticks out is same type of, format, Rufus King, basketball on the front, but on the back, no excuses, no regrets.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
that was my motto. I think that I got that from Bill Parcells,
okay.
the New York Giants, on that. Anything. I used to sell them shirts and never make any money on them. I always lose money. But yeah, those, little things like that keep keep interest going, and they
Yep,
were sharp looking shirts. And
they were. Yep, yep. So and a lot of people see when they see you coach, or at least when they used to see you coach, you're intense. That's one word to describe. You're intense, you're vocal, like you're gonna let your emotions show. And which is cool. And as a player, I had to, or as players, we have to like decipher like between like what's being said versus how it's being said. So you might be like, and then rather than me shutting down and being like, oh, coach yelling at me, like, no, like I can be like, okay, I missed the box out. Like that's my box. They got offensive rebound, kick out for a three. Like that's on me. So, but with the intensity and the swearing, we know that. But a lot of people don't see the the other side of Coach Gosz. Like, and I just got a few examples. So like the guidance that you shared, the advice, the rides, off campus, we talk. I said off camera, we talked about mixing. Um, like just bringing someone like mixing onto the team as a manager. And I would say the one thing that really sticks out to me is when it was my junior year, and I was fasting, and you set your alarm on your watch, like on your Timex watch.
right.
You set your alarm to whatever time like sunset was. I think it was like maybe like 4:30 at the time or something like that. It was during the winter. So it was, and I remember that like your watch beep, 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 said, Khalif, go make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And
Right.
like you had peanut butter and jelly just in the office, you know what I mean? So I got out of practice, went, made myself a sandwich, had a couple bites, drank some water, and
That's
and
right.
got
Yeah.
and got right back out there. So like that's something that just like spoke to just who you are. And if there was ever any doubt as to like, oh, coach is just doing this for the wins, or coach is just doing it like there I had to I would quickly have to like shut that down because of that it, that experience that I had. Just that, like it was like you, to this day I don't know if like how much of an impact that had on me, because you could have been like, oh, like just go get a drink of water, or like eat this candy or something, like no, but you took the initiative, and the like you cared enough to know that for religious purposes I was fasting, but yet I was still busting my ass in practice. And that you were like, all right, like I'm gonna set my alarm, and then right when this hits, he's gonna get subbed out of the drill, go make a sandwich, and come back. So like, though that was amazing, coach. Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah, and no one knew either.
No one knew. Yeah.
We'd be really, yeah, no one knew. And I never, a lot of kids. Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing. I do remember that though.
Yep. Yep.
The
I
sun
believe
goes down, Khalid, get in there and go.
it. Yeah.
But I tried to make the basketball part of the players the best 2 hours of their day. And lot of kids, a lot of players, they come in with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
unwarranted to them, and want to make, wherever I went, I've tried to make that the best 2 hours of their day. And at the end, if they didn't have rides home, I always drove, gutter, anyone who needed a ride, if it meant me getting home at 7, I had no problem with that.
Yep.
But I didn't share that, but I always had a soft, for not soft, but I always took care of my horses.
Absolutely. No, 100%, 100%. Yeah, no, I mean, the stories, like, as we're talking, like, they're just starting to, come back up, and it I mean, yeah, you got the, 600 plus wins, but it's like at the end of the day, like, coach, you're an amazing person, like, amazing person, like, and your ability to get the most out of your players is unmatched. And I've had the privilege of playing for some phenomenal coaches. Obviously yourself, in AAU, college, Coach Simling, Coach, Jack Bennett. But the the uh, the way that you can motivate, but yet, like, still, I'm like, damn, like, he just cussed me out, but I just wanna that just made me wanna run through the wall even harder next time. You know what I mean? It was just special, and, like, and it wasn't just me, it was the vast majority of players that you coach. So, your influence does not go unnoticed for sure.
Yeah, we came on hard, but you get off it right away,
Mhm,
like, what do you
mhm.
get, and you move on to the next, but you guys are coachable,
True.
you gotta have a special player to be able to do them. But you have to also realize it is what it is,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. And you're bringing back a lot of memories, and they're good. As you get older, it takes a lot of energy to yell and scream over something so stupid, over a box out, lose your mind where your head's spinning. And you know yeah, that's towards the end I didn't scream. Yeah, I did, but not at the kids so much.
Right, right. No, I hear you, I hear
It takes
you.
a lot of energy, that.
Yep. So now, coach, you're going on your second basketball season of, being retired. So, like, what do you do with your time? Like, do you check out other games? Do you just stay at the crib and, watch games on TV? Like, how are you enjoying retirement?
Not, I obviously I have zero hobbies. I don't even know the hood latches to my car. I don't own any. I can't, any of that. But once I didn't go to many basketball games. I
Mm.
went to watch them, but what really screwed things up, was that COVID.
Oh yeah, for sure.
COVID just kind of, even to go to, let's say I went to the Nicolay homestead game, to park my car, get in line. Now you got to go find a place to sit. It's a hassle to go to the games,
Yep.
But I'll try to go to some this year. I bet you in the last 2 years I've seen maybe five. I can't remember, maybe 3 or 4 live games in the Milwaukee area.
I
Just for
think I,
whatever.
I I've been to what, two of those with you, huh?
Which ones were those?
Remember we went to Aliados before,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the King Carmen. Well, both were King Carmen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I had a horse in the race, Dupree.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we had to support our boy.
Yeah, yeah. But that's different. But I really I don't miss it anymore. I miss the camaraderie with coaches and players, but I don't miss the daily get on the bus and
Yep.
get to school and up 15, and now you got to make substitutions and manage kids and keep everyone happy. And I don't miss any of that. I've done it. And not only, you brought up, I've coached my own kids. I've coached football at King, coached my kids in youth basketball.
Yep.
Enough's enough.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, you put your time in, coach. You put your time in for sure, for sure. All
Right.
right, so speaking of time, I'm gonna be, conscious and, respectful of yours. So I got 5 rapid fire questions that I'm gonna ask you, coach,
Right.
and then we'll wrap up. So first thing that come to mind: So first one, book, or movie title to describe your life.
Jesus. It's funny. I don't go to any movies. I don't read any books. Let's just say Rocky.
All right, there we go. All right. If you can only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Hot dogs.
There we go. A little glizzy. Uh, 20-point blowout or a buzzer beater?
20-point blowout.
One item left on your bucket list.
Geez, there is none. Isn't that something? My bucket list has been filled.
Man,
I
that's
don't.
that's special. That's special. Hey,
I
that means you live one hell of a life.
I know if I go on the ground tomorrow, I have no excuses or no regrets. No,
I love it. I love it. All right. This one might not be as rapid fire. All time king starting five plus a six man.
that is way, way. I thought of that, and I have never. I've refused to answer that. Do you know how many players have come through?
26
I
years.
mean,
That's a lot. That's a lot of
but if you ask me who my ultimate favorite was, and I've gone on record to say, and I have tons of them. You know, you're on there. You know, if I have to pick one person, one player that I just loved coaching, and it was Lucius Washington.
Lucius
Remember
Washington.
Toonie?
Yep.
Yeah. Guys,
Remember Lucius came back and helped coach
yeah,
my junior, I think it was my junior year.
right, yeah.
Yep.
And
No. Yeah, no,
yeah,
Lucius.
I like Lucius. You know, Jahi was good there. You know, too. You know, just who I like. Jahi never talked, but those are point guards. You know, if you ask, obviously Dupree's up there, Mike Wilkes is up there. You know the goodies. There's so many. Otto McDuffie, Brian Curry. You know, if you said name 25 guys, you
You
know
could
you
do
had
that
all
easily.
the Kadima brothers are all
Yep.
on there.
Yep.
You know, T. McGee. I mean, it's so I've thought of that all the time. But you know, my favorite, and I'll go on record, was Lucius Washington, and
There
you
we
know,
go.
I don't think anyone will argue with that either.
No, I respect it. I'm glad I got to meet him and play under him. Like so, I mean, Lucius was and I saw him play too, and he was a dog.
Hey, he was a tough.
He was a dog.
No one messed with Lucius Washington.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a run, Khalif, and I'll get to some of the Dominican, Rufus King games this year. I talked to Doug a little bit. I want to get some separation from that. But I wear all the Rufus King stuff. Still have the rings, and
Yep.
those are heavy. I don't like wearing them because you draw attention to yourself.
Little bit. It's well earned attention though.
Right.
Special occasions, right?
Exactly.
All right,
Weddings and funerals.
coach, man. I like I said, man. In the beginning, like this is very, very special. Like this is a very special episode for me. Just given the impact that you've had on my life, over the last, basically 25 years. And just in my peers, my brothers, my guys who I grew up with, just for us to still like this is special. Like this doesn't happen, often, where people are still reaching out to their high school coaches or vice versa, having good relationships with their players. So, I don't take our friendship, I don't take, anything for granted. I definitely appreciate you and I love you and I thank you for all that you've done for me over the years.
Well, I appreciate that, Khalifa. And it's the King Nation, and I have a lot of respect for every kid who's ever played in any level of basketball under my guidance. So I remember them all, and and I know it's special group.
Absolutely. Well, there we have it. We got the legendary Coach Jim Gosz, Mr. 606 wins himself. Thanks for joining Leaf with the Legends podcast, Coach.
Good luck with everything, Khalif.
Thank you. Be legendary or be lost.
Yeah, all right.